But things have changed here on us this morning. Pull up your pants. Go pull up my pants. Oh, come on, struggle bus. Well, there it is. Good morning and welcome back to the good old Southern IA. Today we're going to start out with giving away the sticker. And this sticker comes from the video where Molly came and had a little bit of a lunch date with me in the tractor. And it goes to Randy with a very difficult last name. Now, you guys have been seeing this old girl right here, this 8630, go back to work with us this spring. What this 8630 is if you can't see over my shoulder right there, it says Kinze Repowered Product or Power Products. Basically, Kinze, the planter, grain cart manufacturers, and I think they delve into a little bit of tillage equipment too, at one point in time was taking these old green machines right here and beefing them up. This one has a Cummins shoved into it, which I think it is a N14 Cummins. I'm not 100% sure on that. I really don't know all the specs on this tractor, otherwise I would read them off to you guys. But like I said, there's the Cummins Power decal right there over my shoulder. Randy says, so if a Cummins powered Ford is a Fummins, like Welker Farms have, they've got a Fummins tractor, does that make your tractor a Jummins? Just wondering. Well, here's the other factor is that day I went down to near the Missouri border and hung out with a cow-calf operation, Don, who has a Chummins, which is a Cummins powered Chevy. He took us for a little rip at about exactly 55 miles an hour, so we were perfectly legal down the road, and she went barreling. And then also in that video you get to see I think it's a 7830 really try and crawl her way up a muddy hill. But to answer your question, Randy, Jummins doesn't quite have the ring to it, so I'm gonna open that up to you guys. What would be a Cummins powered John Deere called? Randy, send me an email and I'll send you your sticker. Power wash the vent off on my tank. That needs to go on my to-do list. Cleaning out all the stuff in the back of my truck needs to go on my to-do list. So the weather stick says we got a decent day coming after us here today. Had multiple questions about the weather stick. I'll put a link to one in the description below. But essentially, points up, good day. Points down, not so good day. The guys aren't supposed to be coming in until noon today, as in Andrew and Austin, because I worked late last night, it rained. So I'm going to take the chance here this morning to tackle a few kind of housekeeping chores. I've got to lay out my plots. I have a soybean plot that's 600 feet wide over here, so that's 10 different 60-foot strips. We put in full 20-acre plots. That way we can collect good data off of them, and they're not these 200-foot or 100-foot strips of 4 rows of corn or something like that. This is real field situations. Across the road I have another 600 feet. That's going to be the corn plot this year. So either I got to put 10 hybrids out there, which I might do that, or it hasn't been tilled yet and it had the no-till anhydrous bar go across it. So I might try and put it side by side, tilled versus non-tilled of the same hybrid, same population, see maybe if there's a yield difference in between those two. The normal plot seed bags that we get are half a bag of plot seed. Well, that's great for normal people, but we're not normal people. So to make our planter run, I really need about 4 bags of each hybrid. Really, I only use about a bag and a half or so, but just to make the planter prime good, run good, and all of that fashion, it's better to have about 4 bags of seed in there. It gives you a safeguard going across the field to make sure that you're not going to have a row unit blow out. Then you got to stop, pick it up, and that kind of throws off a little bit of the plot data. So what I'm doing here is just laying out the individual hybrids, making sure I have enough seed for those that I have going on. I'm breaking up some of the bags that I have here, where they're going to go, and the farms that I'm going to be putting those on. I have pallets of my soybean seed, and there's one of them that's the VIP treatment that has Saltro on there, so that's going to be going into my plot. I'm really thinking that I'm not going to put a lot of hybrids out there this year into my soybean plot, because next year we have what's called it's Roundup Ready 2 or Roundup Ready 2 Extend Liberty bean. So I think they're calling it a Roundup Ready XL or XL bean. So you can spray Extend and Liberty on it, and that's pretty much the direction that we will continue to go. Big into dicamba fans, it's like it gets it done. Problem is that there's still people out there in the world think that Liberty's the way to be. So we have to be cautious of our neighbors, and they can choose what to put out there, and it's our responsibility to keep our chemical on our ground. So if we're in a pinch of a situation, we could spray Liberty onto the beans. So we'll be probably going that way. So in essence of really selecting and looking at the hybrids for next year, that will kind of dull its way back. So I'm going to more kind of answer some questions that I have in terms of row spacing. I'm not going to drill any beans, so we're not going to go to 7.5 inch spacing. I don't have a drill. Maybe I could, that might be an interesting one to see if I could cook up, is to get a drill, but probably not going to happen. But I'm going to do, I did buy a population kit for the planter, so I can go half rate on my population. So I'm going to probably do maybe 120, 140, 160, and 180 on the population. So we'll have 4 strips of the different populations in there, all treated soybeans and all the same number. So just the population is what's going to change. Then I'm going to be testing full treatment of our treatment, which has got a Levo as its main kicker in there versus a Saltro as its main kicker. And then it's always going to go up against an untreated soybean. And then I will probably put that test in there twice, treated versus untreated, to see the response on those. That's pretty much going to take up that entire plot. And I'll most likely throw a 30-inch soybean in there too, of probably the same hybrid at a same population as another one that's treated. Just have fun with it. It's like, yeah, it's 20 acres of my soybeans that I got to do this with, and I take a yield ding on a bit of it, but the knowledge that I get, I can continue to grow into the next year, is well worth doing this. So as you can tell, I have bags stacked just about everywhere in the shop, so tracking them down is going to take me a little bit of time. But once I get that done, I'll catch back up with you guys. However, do not forget that, like I gave away that sticker earlier in this video, we're giving away a sticker in every video. All you have to do is be my favorite comment within the first 24 hours. I usually read off a comment for the day or two afterwards and give away the sticker. And when we reach our first video that reached 2,000 likes for this harvest log season, I'll be giving away a hat. And you guys continue to support us by subscribing to the channel, and we're getting closer and closer to 25,000. We'll give away another one, and maybe a little bit other things too. Well, that's turning out to be a little bit of a noggin scratcher this morning, trying to work things out in my head. So I think what we're going to do is divert that for a little bit until brain's functioning at fuller capacities. Go grab a couple of flags and then go meet up with the guys. Oh, wind, Daddy! Drier out here than I thought it'd be. We got 3/10 of rain last night. So kind of the plan is that Austin and I are going to work on pulling some honeysuckle trees out of the ground. My dad's going to go spray with the Hagie, get some pre-emergent herbicide down with Andrew. Andrew's going to be his tender today. I'm going to, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to also move some equipment around and get the corn planter to where it needs to be, so that maybe we can plant corn tomorrow. I think that might turn around and kind of worry about, we do have a cold snap coming in. It's supposed to get down to like 33 degrees at night, so it's not freezing unless we get freezing in the low areas. I don't know if we'll get freezing in the low areas or not. You can't really do anything to control it, so don't worry about it. But things have changed here on us this morning. When I showed up there to the shop, after I got done messing around with this plot seed, I was informed that my dad wants me to go and try and plant some no-till ground. We're gonna go try and plant some no-till ground. going today is about 48 acres. I've chosen to put 61A19 VT2 in there as the corn hybrid. I have not written the prescription for it. I need to go write the prescription for it really quickly. For you that do not know what a prescription is, a planting prescription in this instance is I basically tell the planter to plant more seeds or less seeds in different parts of the field. The theory behind it is that the better soils can support more seeds, the lesser soils can support less seeds, or even if you have an instance like a place that the deer completely eat a bunch of it, I'm going to put out a little bit less corn. Down the road. The seed is here. Say we're ready to load up seed. So when we switch tanks, we called it the tank. When we load up seed, what should we call it? Baggy shuffle? Oh! Baggy shuffle. Isn't that just the walk that when everybody in middle school wore those baggy pants?
The Janko jeans?
Isn't that the baggy shuffle? Like, oh, gotta pull up my pants.
What up?
Gotta pull up my pants.
Got my
Gotta
boxes
pull up my
hanging
pants.
out.
Gotta pull up my pants.
On chili day with the cinnamon rolls, now you don't want to wear those baggy.
The chili day with the cinnamon rolls. So let me learn you guys some knowledge. I didn't go to high school down here in southern Iowa. I actually grew up in the Cedar Rapids area, went to high school up there, and if you just heard Austin, he said baggy pants on chili and cinnamon roll day. That's a real thing down here. Chili and cinnamon roll. That was on the lunch menu as a combination, was chili and cinnamon rolls.
So good.
Seed is loaded, lids are on, lube is lubricated. Loaded prescription. Giggity giggity. Let's go plant. Oh, come on, struggle bus. You gotta wait until I get in here. It's not your side. There you go. So we talked about prescription earlier. Here's a very good look of it. Right there's where we're sitting. The lighter blue is down here on these bottom hills here. You can definitely see, oh, Austin didn't wash this window, so he got a 3 out of 4. You can see that they're in a pretty good slope here. I'm starting in a waterway. So we're down here in the slope area. This is a weaker part of the farm. It's gonna have less seeds down here. And this is basically the ridge of this farm. It runs this way. And then these are all fingers and stuff like that, and as you go down the hill, the yield tapers off. Other than all the way around the outside of the field will be a complete red stripe because the deer are going to eat it anyways. And for reference, this isn't a really high yielding farm, so my lowest population is 28,000. This is a good flex year, which means that it will compensate, and my highest population is actually 32. 32,000, that is. Okay, so I got my first set of end rows in here. I'm trying something a little bit different. We run a 12-row head, and these bigger planters are great for getting big acres in. But when we get into these situations where we got a lot of fingers and stuff, as you turn the inside of your planter to the turn, the population skyrockets, and when it skyrockets, your yield goes down. Then on the outside, your population decreases a lot. That's not the biggest issue. The other issue is that we can't even harvest it. So I'm kind of on these tighter waterways, almost squaring them up, kind of like the corner of a field. That way we can at least the population will stay consistent, so there will be yield there. It still might be a challenge to harvest those corners, but at least the corn will be there if we can harvest it. But now I gotta check to make sure my planting depth is still good. I got my down pressure up a bit because we are into a no-till situation, and I gotta get that seed down there to that 2 inches. So here's what I've got. I've got one guy right here, one guy right here, one guy right there. My spacing in between each of them, I'm gonna say that's probably about 7 inches of spacing. So my spacing is pretty darn consistent. That's awesome. We like to see that. My depth on that one, it's right at 2 inches. Right at 2 inches. Right at 2 inches. We're good to go. Now what I'm gonna do is try and see how easy the sidewall crashes in, because I am running that higher down pressure. Just to kind of do that, I'm just gonna hit this. There's a little bit of pressure there. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Like, did she know she shared the Jimmy John's for lunch?
Yes. I said, why are you going to cut me up a slice like Jimmy John's? She goes. And I said, okay, never mind. You really don't want to. I'll make a sandwich. She goes, no, you can have some. And I was like, that's not like, hey, you can have some. It was I guess.
Yeah. I guess. Otherwise, you're going to complain about it the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Ollie said, did you see Mariah's comment? I'm like, I haven't been able to read any of the comments lately. Especially yesterday. Anxiety level so high. Just racing the rain. I didn't know it was going to rain, you know?
No, what comment?
Oh, she commented, wow, Molly makes homemade bread for bread sandwiches and stuff. I feel like I really need to step up my game for when I make frosting.
That's it. That's all that. I said, oh, you made the soggy sandwiches. She said it wasn't soggy. I was like, I'm joking. Calm down.
Well, there it is. 58.9 acres planted. And you can see the darker green. It's the ridge top here behind us. Bandit's barking at my dad in the sprayer. And that's where more of the better seeds got planted. And then when we get into the finger parts, it got lighter where it can't support as much of the corn or the deer are gonna eat it. And we put less seeds out there. Planted pretty good for our no-till situation. Well guys, the weather stick was right. It was a pretty darn good day. We got about 50 acres of no-till corn planted in the ground. Well, I wasn't expecting to do that. But coming up here, we've got more corn planting to do. The fun plots on the to-do list. The ryegrass is really coming in here, and what I've decided to do about this ryegrass is that I need to get it done probably this weekend. I'm going to mark off 15 feet of it, and I'm going to spray it and kill it off with Roundup. And then the next pass that I'm going to do is I'm just going to plant into it green, and then I'll spray it and kill it probably there shortly after. And then the last one that I'm going to do is I'm gonna plant into it green, and then I was like, I should just like roll it and crimp it, but I really don't know how I'd roll it and crimp it. But I mean, those kind of look like a crimper. I haven't 100% figured out what I'm gonna do with the rest of this. Problem is I can't decide if that's ryegrass or crabgrass right here. So I don't remember seeding this, but it looks like I seeded it. You know, like I'm not sure if this is just grass or if this is actual cover crop. Right here is basically nothing, so this is an open area. This is where Wayne went all mower Rambo on me. And then coming into here, we have crimson clover growing, and I mean, that is beautiful. I think I'm just gonna let the crimson clover go and just let it keep growing for the year. Like, that's pretty. I like that. Here's my rye that Wayne mowed off, so I think I'm probably gonna have to till it in. So this area here is open for suggestions. I kind of like the idea of sunflowers. So anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for another day down here in southern Iowa for us. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. Don't really know what I've got planned, really. The anhydrous has been pulled on. I think is a little too fresh to work. We could do some spraying, we could do some burn down. I could maybe work here for a little while. You guys will know when I know, because we'll be taking you along with us. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow. You know, Molly probably put together there for you guys a pretty good montage, but I've watched Brian's videos since he was, I think he was like Brian's Outdoor Adventures or whatever, and it's been a while since he's done this wheel cam. Joking, guys, I know you puke.